All right, Assalamu alaikum. Here we are yet again with another live show for this evening. Let's like we always do, let's give everyone a few moments to sign in and come on into the room. Got a good show. Wa alaikum salam. Muhammad Zakaria, welcome. Spread the word. Let me send another tweet. Let everybody know that the show has begun. Let's get the numbers up. All right. Good. Everybody's coming in early. Good. Let's go. Yeah, let's get it in. Hey guys, too, don't forget, wa alaikum salam, don't forget to like the video too. You can like it, right? Don't forget to like it. Let's get the numbers up so we can get the algorithms. Wa alaikum salam, calling Christians. Welcome. So yeah, you can like the video, guys. Put those likes on the video so that'll put it up. Get the likes up and that'll get the algorithms up so we can get more people to tune in and they see it as they see it live. All right. So yeah, so check it out. So we're going to be refuting, we're going to be dealing with this video here. He has, I see he has two videos here on Takia, right? He has two videos here on Takia. Let's take a look at them real quick. Let's see. Let me turn this around so you guys can see. Is that it? Let's see here. There we go. Right. All right. So you see he has two videos here. He has this one here and this one. So I don't know. I want to go into this one here. Right. I want to go into this one here and see what he's saying about the sister. What's her name? Sarah Sassour. See what he's saying. So I'm more inclined to go into that one. But so we may go into this one first. Let's see. And if we have time, we may deal with the other one, or we may save the other one for next week. But I'm looking into attacking this one right here. I want to see what he's talking about in this one right here. Takia, the first thing you need to understand about Islam. So I want to see about that. So let's give some people some chance. We're going to give you guys a chance to get into the room. All right. We're going to give people a chance to get into the room. And we'll go for it. Let me see. I always want, every time I turn the thing, yeah, it never, when it's sideways, you guys don't see me sideways, right? When it's sideways, am I sideways or how am I? Because it's telling me to rotate the device. That's the right way up. How about this way? Right? I don't know. You're sideways. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. So yeah, I'm using the phone today. I'm back on my phone today, only because I want to do the videos, and I'm not sure if the that program that I was using last week, although we did pretty good. But remember, it wouldn't let me interact with the article, so I didn't want that to happen this time. So I said, yeah, the OBS, it didn't allow me to interact with that article. So I don't know if it would let me interact with the yeah, brother, definitely. I didn't know if it would give me a problem interacting with his video. So I said, let's just for today, until I really get the hang of it, let's go ahead and use the phone. I made sure I got about 99% power this time, so I should be good for a while. You know, we should be able to make it through the show. But then, yeah, once I get the hang of it, I'll do that. But yeah, I didn't want any problems. I didn't know if it was going to let me interact with the video or not. Okay. So, yeah, so let's give it a few more moments. Let everybody get in. Okay. While we're waiting for people to come in, don't forget, hopefully you guys can see it. This time I put the links. I put all the donation links in the description area, and I also put the where you can get the book, right? Where you can get my book at, and where you can get the my DVB, my digital video book about Takia, which is what we're talking about tonight. So hopefully, can anybody let me know? Can you see it in the description? Are the links visible in the description of the video? Wa alaikum salam, Yusuf. Could anybody let me know? Can you see the links in the video, in the description of the video? They should be there, right? Because I made sure I saved them, so they should be. You should be able to see them. So if at any time during the show, no, you don't see it. Okay, maybe because maybe that's because I'm on the phone instead. See, yeah. All right. Well, How did we do that last week? Because I know the week before last week we did it where they were able to show in the description. Let me see. Can I do that while I'm on the air? Let me see something. No. Okay. So you guys can't see that. Because I know people were able to do it last week. Not last week, or the week before last, where you were able to see the links and everything. All right. Well, here we'll do it like this then. If you want to donate while I'm talking, you can use the super chat. All right. If you want to wait, if you would like to donate and you want to wait, then just wait till after the show is done. And when the show is done, you should then be able to see the links, all the links to the where you can make your donation. All right. So if you want to do it immediately during the show, you can go ahead and use the super chat. Like I said, a percentage is taken out by YouTube. If you rather just wait till the end of the show and then make a full donation, then at the end of the show, the links should pop up in the description of the video, and you can then go ahead through it. And I'll have all the links lined up. I have the PayPal link. I have the link through the website. I have the link where you can buy the book. I have the link where you can buy the DVB, which is a digital video book on Takia, the lie they made against Islam. My book, He Never Was God, how scripture shows Jesus was fully man and not God. And then the donations. All right. So you have all those options. You have all those options there. They're in the description area, and they'll be there in the video when it's done. I thought they would show up here since I'm using the same, but I guess because I'm on the phone and rather than on my laptop, you can't see it. But like I said, they'll be there. If not, you can just go ahead and use the super chat and make the donation through the super chat if you like. All right. But like I said, after the show, then all the links should be visible. And once I get the hang of using the OBS, we'll try to use the OBS on a regular basis. All right. We'll try to use the OBS on a regular basis. So that way we can just, use it through there. You'll be able to see all the links and everything visible like that. All right. Okay, so let's see. So it's about 10 minutes in. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're already 10 minutes in. So let's go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling here. All right, let's get it rocking and rolling. Okay, so let's start. All right. So the video we're going to be dealing with is and I got my Takia video lined up. We can answer some of these things, but let's go ahead and turn it on. Let me show you. All right, so we're going to be dealing with this video here. All right, Takia, the first thing you need to understand about Islam. All right, so let's go ahead and start this up and let's see what he's talking about.
Takia is one of Islam's religiously acceptable forms of deception. It involves lying to protect yourself or to protect the Muslim community. Historically, Takia has been much more important for Shia Muslims than for Sunni Muslims because Shias have been in the minority much more frequently than Sunnis, and in order to protect themselves from being persecuted or slaughtered by Sunnis, Shias often had to deny that they're Shias. The prevalence of Takia among Shias living in Sunni areas has led many Sunnis to conclude that Shias invented Takia, despite the fact that Takia is found in the Quran. For instance, in chapter 16, verse 106 of the Quran, Allah says that his wrath abides on any Muslim who decides to reject Islam, unless the Muslim is forced to reject Islam while inwardly remaining a true believer. The verse reads, "Whoso disbelieveth in Allah after his belief, save him who is forced thereto, and whose heart is still content with faith, but whoso findeth ease in disbelief, on them is wrath from Allah. Theirs will..."
Okay, so, all right. So far he's being somewhat honest, although I take issue with the way he starts the video, because as you can see from the verse is not talking about, in the context that he put it, deception, right? As he started the video, he's talking about how Takia is Islam's accepted form of deception, right? But it's not deception in the sense of some type of underhanded dealings. As you can see from the verse, it is dealing with a situation where you are in some type of danger, right? Your life is in danger because of your faith in Islam. and you're forced, as it said clearly, he read it himself, you're forced to speak against Islam or to denounce it or to mock it or whatever the case may be. So is this deception as he's trying to make it, or is this showing that Allah is allowing, in other words, Allah is showing that he understands that you're mocking Islam, you're denouncing it, you're speaking ill of it, or whatever the case is being done by force, and therefore Allah is letting us know that he's aware of that and that he won't hold it against you. So is that deception? Right? Can that be put under the category of deception? Usually deception is, I don't know, I guess technically, I don't know, because the way I'm looking at it is deception is when you are, when you are underhandedly trying to do someone, you have the intent. In other words, you have the intent to do some wrong to some person, right? Like example, a car salesman. A car salesman, he's selling cars, right? And so he knows that the car has problems, but he uses deception to make you think that the car is in good condition. Therefore, you buy it, but then when you get home, the car has all these problems. That's deception, right? That's a deception. This here is the situation where you're being forced against your will to denounce Islam. And as I've showed in my DVB, right, about Takia, we demonstrate that that is the only situation in which Takia is used. You can't use Takia in a business dealing. You can't use Takia to cheat somebody, right? To cheat somebody or to do some type of ill will towards somebody. So in this context, I don't see it as he's putting it as some type of deception. See, but as you can see, like I said, so far he's telling somewhat most of the truth, and he even read the verse. So let's see how he's going to try to twist it. I don't know how he's going to try to twist this or whatever. But as you can see from the verse, it's clear that this is not talking about some underhanded trying to cheat somebody or deceive somebody with intent to do them wrong. You're the one whom wrong is being done to. And as it clearly says, somebody who's forced. They're forced to speak bad of Islam or mock Islam or denounce it. But in their hearts, they still believe. And if you get my DVB, my digital video book that I did on Takia, I demonstrate how both in Judaism and in Christianity, that type of activity is accepted. It's not considered that you're doing some type of like major sinful act. It's understood that you're doing it to save your life or to save the life of an innocent person. Both Judaism and Christianity acknowledge it. And as I said, I talk about that in my DVB, all right, which is Takia, the lie they made against Islam. All right, so let's continue. Let's see what else he's saying.
Will be an awful doom. This verse was supposedly revealed after Muhammad's companion, Amr bin Yasir, cursed Muhammad and praised pagan gods while being tortured. Since Amr only cursed Muhammad because he was being tortured, he was forgiven. So if you're a Muslim and you say, I reject Islam, and you mean it, you're in trouble. But if you're a Muslim and you say, I reject Islam, and you don't mean it, you're okay. Some Muslims insist that this is all there is to Takia. It's simply pretending to renounce your faith in order to protect your life. But Takia also involves pretending to be friendly towards non-Muslims even though you hate them.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Now, I'm going to see what evidence he's going to bring. I have an idea what he's going to bring because I've seen them use this argument before. He's probably going to quote, he's going to quote some scholar or something like that. But we'll wait. I'll wait till what he says. But take note that, yes, I'm one of those Muslims who says that's all Takia is. And I've proven it in, once again, my DVB about Takia. I bring out all the evidence to show that that is only what Takia is. It doesn't involve, as I said, doesn't involve what he's saying that you pretend to be, because notice what the verse is saying. See, this is what I keep trying to tell these hard-headed haters. Right? Oh, I like that. Hard-headed haters. This is what I keep trying to tell these hard-headed haters. Notice that verse in the Quran and what it's talking about. Right? So these are the fake and false claims that they try to make, and then they try to spread it out and act like, oh, it's you can be deceptive in any situation with a non-believer and all these different things like that. Whatever. So let's go ahead and see. Let's see what else he has to say. Okay.
In chapter 3, verse 28 of the Quran, we read, "Let not the believers take disbelievers for their friends in preference to believers. Whoso doeth that hath no connection with Allah, unless it be that ye but guard yourselves against them, taking, as it were, security."
Okay, so there you go. So again, and I talk about this I know I keep saying it, guys, but I got to, because I talk about this. All right, I talk about this. I lay this all out in the video. Even in that verse, it's not saying what he said, that you pretend to be their friends, walaikum salam, Otto, even though you hate them. Again, it's talking about this is like the other verse. You're doing so because your life is in danger, right? You're doing so because your life is in danger. You're doing this as the verse shows, a precaution. So here, I'm going to go to my video now, and we talk about it here. We talk about this in my video, in the DVB. You can get all this, like I said, if you get the DVD, you get all this information. As you can see here, this is the word that's used in that verse that he just read. Tattaku minhum tukatan, right? So tattaku is you fear minhu from them as a precaution. Okay? As a precaution. That's the source of it. The English to Arabic Translator Dictionary on page 324. Okay? From the root word is ittaka. It means to fear. It doesn't mean to deceive. It doesn't mean to lie. See? It doesn't, the word does not mean to lie or deceive or anything of that nature. It actually shows that you have a fear. This is dealing with a fear. So the verse that he just read, the word that's used here, says you fear from them. But what he tries to do, and what these haters try to do, is make it seem like in everyday actions, right, in everyday society, you can use takia. You hate these people, but you pretend to be their friend. No, the verse is showing if you fear from them, you're fearing harm from them. So you're doing this as a precaution to protect yourself from them, because you fear from them. So in everyday society, I'm not worried about these people, right? There's no mass, they're not mass murdering Muslims or anything where I have to, hide and go underground and sneak around, right? So so takia doesn't apply, right? When you go to work tomorrow, takia doesn't apply. Why not? Because you don't fear from them, right? They're not trying to kill you. They're not saying, hey, anybody we find is a Muslim, you're dead. We're going to kill you unless you denounce. Are they doing that? No, not yet, right? So therefore, when you go to work tomorrow and you deal with your non-Muslim co-workers, you don't have to use takia. There's no need for it. Why? Because there's no fear. You're not in fear, right? But this is what they try to make. They try to make it seem like takia is some type of wide usage where, like he tried to say that, oh, even if you can pretend to be their friends even though you hate their guts. Wrong. The verse is clearly saying that you do this as a precaution because you're in fear of them. Okay, so there it is right there. Like I said, this is all the information I have. You can have this in my video where you can take the notes and you have it right on there. But there it is right there. That's the words, that's the source, and you see. So this, again, these are the words that are used in that verse that he read. As you can see, the word deception, lies, sneaky, cheating, none of that is there. The word is fear. The word is fear. Matter of fact, this is from where you get the same word taqwa, right? Taqwa Allah, right? Your fear of Allah. In this context, it is your reverence and your reverence and of Allah. Not that you're scared of Allah, like, somebody's scared of harm or anything like, but that you have your reverence, you're in awe of Allah and His majesty, His lordship, things of that nature. Okay. But as you can see, there it is right there, right? That's the verse. That's from the verse. It's not about, some kind of widespread pretending to be friends. No, it is only in the situation when you fear. And I have the scholars to back me up. Again, all available on the video. But let's continue with him further and see what else he has to say.
Don't take unbelievers as friends unless it's to guard yourselves against them. Notice that this verse has nothing to do with pretending you're not a Muslim. It's about pretending to be friendly when you don't really want to be friendly.
See, but again, as I just showed you, pretending in what sense, right? What? When you fear from them. If you're not in fear of them, then this doesn't apply, Mr. Wood. The verse clearly says this. See, that's why, subhanAllah, the Quran is great, right? This is why the Quran is great. This is why I love it, because it speaks very clearly. The Quran clearly says, David, if you fear from them. So it does not apply in like today's society where a Muslim can walk about in pretty much most of the case freely without any issues. So there's no need for you to do taqiyya. In this society right now, the way we are, we're pretty, we're okay so far. So if I don't like you, I don't have to pretend to be your friend, because there's no fear of anything, right? There's no fear of Muslims being rounded up yet, right? There's no, nobody's running around slaughtering Muslims on sight because they're Muslim yet. So therefore, taqiyya doesn't have to be used here because there's no fear. I don't have to use it as notice the verse says as a precaution, David. But you know what? I'm used to this. He ignores what the Quran. They don't want to face what the Quran has to say. See? The verse says as a precaution, as a precaution. See it right there? That's the word in the verse. Minhu, from them, as a precaution. This video, how old is this video from David Wood? It is, let's see. When did he make this video? He made this video in November. It's not that old. It's about a couple months old, a few months old. November 11th, 2017. So it's not that bad, not that old, not that old. Okay. So as I was saying, as you can see, everyone, the verse makes it clear that Allah is saying this is done as a precaution because you fear. You fear from them. So as a precaution, you do this. What's a precaution, everybody? Precaution is what? To pre is before, meaning, and caution is what? That there's trouble, there's danger. So as a precaution, meaning to prepare yourself or to protect yourself ahead of time from the danger, this is when this is done, Mr. Wood. It is not like you're trying to make it that, the Muslims come and smile in your face on everyday basis. It's talking about in the situation when you fear from them harm and trouble, sir. So actually it is applying like the other verse. It is like the other verse. Both that other verse that he read and this one are dealing with a situation when you are in danger. Your life as a Muslim, because you're a Muslim, is in danger. So because of this danger, if they tell you to say something to mock Islam, Allah allows you that. If there's a situation where society has gone completely to hell and they're out looking and hunting Muslims down to kill Muslims, as a precaution, you can do this because you fear. Like the Nazis, when the Nazis were in Germany and they were looking for Jews, perhaps a Jew could pretend that he wasn't a Jew and that he was friendly with the Nazis, so they wouldn't put him in the camps. That's acceptable in that situation. And in fact, as I show in my video in this that I'm showing you here, that the Jews say such a thing is acceptable. It's acceptable to do that in that circumstance. But in everyday activity, when there's no threat, when you do not fear from them, then no, it does not apply, Mr. Wood. But let's continue. Let's see. I'll bust it down. I got the scholars to back me up. And I'm not just saying this, everybody. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Western Muslim. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to water down Islam. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to appease you. I have the proof from scholars, classical scholars from the Middle East. Because this is another argument they like to say, right? Let me turn this around. This is another argument they like to say. They like to say, oh, you're only saying that because you're a Western Muslim, right? You're only saying that because you're a convert. You're only saying that because you're from the West. And so you're thinking as a Westerner, trying to make Islam, to appease the Westerners' view of Islam because you're a Westerner yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you, no, that's not the case. I'm here to tell you, no, that is not the case, that I have proof from classical Arabic, Middle Eastern scholars who say that what I'm saying is correct. So that'll knock out any arguments that, oh, you're only saying that because you're a Westerner and you're trying to water it down. No, I have Middle Eastern scholars, classical Islamic scholars, modern Islamic scholars, whatever you want to say, from the Middle East who are backing me up on. Matter of fact, I'm actually saying it because I learned it from them. I'm not even saying it and they're backing me up. No, I'm using what they already said. You understand? I'm using because I already learned that. So I'm not just saying, oh, this and then, no. Actually, I'm saying what I'm saying because I've researched it and the evidence is there to back that up. Okay? All right. So let's continue. Let's continue. Exactly, Riff. Exactly, Riff. That's what I'm saying. You're right. The Quran is clear. The Quran is already clear enough. You're right about that. You're right about that. The Quran is definitely clear as we've shown. But that's what these guys like to do. See, they want to take a little bit of Quran and then they try to go and use other scholars or whatever to try to kind of go against what the Quran is saying or add some additional thing that the Quran is not actually saying. But in this case, like I said, I have, not only do we have what the Quran says, and the scholars are agreeing that that's exactly what's being said here. Okay, so let's continue to see what he has to say further. Here we go.
Let's read the most respected Muslim commentary in history on this verse, Tafsir of Ibn Kathir.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Remember I told you guys about that tactic years ago? I mean, not years ago. A few shows ago. How this is one of their tactics, right? He's trying to basically set it up so that way, if I don't know, if you're a Muslim or if you're a non-Muslim, he makes it sound like, oh wow, this is the most respected. This is the most respected source or one of the most respected scholars or one of the most respected tafsirs or whatever. So you can't go against it. Wow. He said the most respected tafsir in Islamic history. Come on. Don't fall for that. Don't fall. Like the brother Riffraff said, the Quran is already clear. All right. But like I said, I'm familiar with what he's going to quote. Let's see what he quotes. Let's see if he's going to quote what I'm sure he's going to quote. Let's see.
3 verse 28 of the Quran. Allah prohibited his believing servants from becoming supporters of the disbelievers or to take them as comrades with whom they develop friendships rather than the believers. Allah warned against such behavior when he said, and whoever does that will never be helped by Allah in any way, meaning whoever commits this act that Allah has prohibited, then Allah will discard him. Allah will discard a Muslim who has a Jewish or Christian or pagan friend. But we've already seen that there is an exception. Ibn Kathir continues.
All right, and let me deal with that too. Let me deal with that too, because this is how they play, with the translation, with the English translation. All right. In actuality, the word that's used there, and when they talk about this friend thing, it's actually not the word friend. Okay, it's actually the word awliya. It's actually the word awliya, and awliya is what? A guardian. The root word of awliya is wali. A wali is your guardian. Your manager, your caretaker. So that's what the Quran is actually saying. The word for friend in Arabic is a different word, sadiq, right? I believe sadiq is the word for friend, or khalil, or something like this, right? This is a friend, but that's not the word used in those verses. In those verses, the word that's used is awliya, which means a protector, a guardian, a caretaker. So the Quran is prohibiting us as taking them as your protectors, your guardians, your caretakers, your managers. That's what it's saying. Right, Sadiq is a friend, David. So the Quran actually doesn't say don't take as Sadiq. It says don't take as awliya. Don't take them as your protector, your guardian, whatever, right? Your protector, your manager, your caretaker, etc. That's what it's actually saying. So he's playing on the English translation to try to make that point. But again, when you go to the pure Arabic of the Quran, it actually is more specific by saying awliya. So again, David, there's a word for friend, sadiq, and there's a word for guardian and protector, manager, etc. That's awliya, which is the plural of the word wali. A wali is a guardian. For example, when over the females, right, in Islam, the woman, they have a wali, a guardian. If you want to seek a woman's hand in marriage, you go to her wali, right, her guardian, her protector. So am I going to her friend? Right? Am I going to her friend to seek her hand in marriage? No, you can't go to a woman's friend for marriage, right? You got to go to her father, her uncle, her older brother, her grandfather, someone who's her caretaker, her guardian, her protector. You go to them. You can't go to a woman's friend. So this is an example to show that wali does not mean a friend. Okay? Does not mean a friend. All right, let's continue.
Unless you indeed fear a danger from them, meaning except those believers who, in some areas or times, fear...
Okay, let me stop you right there. Now notice, he's done. He already finished his argument right there. He's finished. He's finished, everybody. Why is he finished? Because what did he just say? Unless indeed you fear a danger from them. So that's it. It's over. It's over. See? It's over. Unless you indeed fear a danger from them, meaning except those believers who in some areas or times fear for their safety. Thank you. It's done. Now, how is he going to twist it and make it seem like, oh, in everyday activities, you can fake it, pretend to be different? No, it clearly says when you fear a danger from them, meaning except those believers who in some areas or times fear for their safety from the disbelievers. In this case, what did he say, David? In every case, pretend and smile up in their face? No, in this case. What case? What case, David? The case that he just said, when you fear a danger from them. In some areas, not all, in some areas, David, you reading it yourself, or times of fear for your safety. See that? It's right there. He's telling you. See that? I mean, it's right there, everybody. I don't even got to say anything. He's reading it himself. But let's see if he catches it though. That's what I'm interested to see. By the way, this is off the cuff, everybody. This is off the cuff. I didn't watch the video ahead of time. This is straight. I'm arguing straight off the top of my dome, as they say over here in the hood in America. I'm spitting right off the top of my dome. I'm freestyling. So I didn't look at the video ahead of time. All I knew it was about. So I got my other video ready, but I didn't know what he's going to say. All right. So let's see. Let's see if he catches what it says. And I want to see how he's going to try to make it to seem nefarious, because the words are clear. But let's see. Let's see what he says.
For their safety from the disbelievers. In this case, such believers are allowed to show friendship to the disbelievers outwardly, but never inwardly. For instance, Al-Bukhari reported that Abu ad-Darda said, "We smile in the face of some people, although our hearts curse them." Al-Bukhari said that Al-Hasan said, "Takia is allowed until the day of resurrection." Abu ad-Darda, one of Muhammad's companions, said, "We smile in the face of some people, although our hearts curse them." That's how Muhammad's companions understood Takia.
Wrong, David, because Ibn Kathir just told you what was the correct position. That might have been Abu Darda's position, but that don't say the companions, plural, looked at it like that. That was Abu Darda's, the way he looked at it. But you just read, you see the devil? You see the devil, how the devil does? He just ignored Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir told you that it was what? In times of fear. So unless Abu Darda was saying that in the context of him being in fear for his life, then unfortunately, it doesn't apply, right? So unless Abu Darda is saying his statement that he was in the context of him being in a state of fear for his life, if he's just saying in everyday life he does that, then it doesn't apply. Takia doesn't apply. He just read what Ibn Kathir said, that in times of fear for your life, you do that, right? And then he's going to override, then he's going to ignore what the Quran says. Did the Prophet Muhammad say that? Did the Prophet Muhammad make that? No, that's Abu Darda. So you see the game that's played. You see how they play the game, brothers and sisters? This is why you got to be sharp. This is why you got to make sure you listen to them carefully. That's what I do when I hear them. I listen carefully so that way you can dissect and destroy. You hear? You listen carefully so you can hear and catch them, and then you dissect it and you destroy the argument, as you see being done here. So I'm amazed at this. I'm amazed at how he could just read what Ibn Kathir clearly said, that it is in times of fear. Matter of fact, here, now let me bring some more proof for myself. From other companions, in fact, of the Prophet. Okay? Let's see here. All right, this is about the tafsir of the first verse right here for 225. But let's see. I want to bring what the people of knowledge had to say about it. Because, yeah, the video is broken up into sections, right? I broke it up into sections so you could see. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. Let's see. I want to get what the scholars had to say about it. Okay, here we go. Here's some of the scholar position on this. So you can see that what David is saying is incorrect and false. It says, as such, one should not make a narrow-minded generalization that encompasses all situations, thereby failing to fully absorb the spirit of the definition. Abdul Hamid Siddiqui. Okay. We give the definition takia. Takia, its literal meaning is to safeguard, to fear. Notice the literal meaning of the word has nothing to do with lying. Notice the literal meaning of the word has nothing to do with lying or deception. In Islamic terminology, it means to save one's life or the life of another by hiding one's belief out of fear of immediate physical danger. Everybody see that? Of immediate physical danger. We saw when David Wood read from Ibn Kathir said pretty much the same thing. If you fear for your life, it is at a time or an area where you fear for your life. So that means this is not applicable to everyday activity where there's no danger. Okay? But this is the game they want to play. This is the game they want to play. Okay, and so as Abdul Hamid Siddiqui said, that you don't use this as, you can't use this as a generalization. It does not encompass all situations. Okay, this is how they want to do it. All right. Here is Jalaladdin. I believe this is Jalaladdin al-Sayyuti. No, this is al-Sayyuti. Excuse me. In his book Al-Dur al-Manthur fi al-Tafsir. He says, Al-Takia is with the tongue only, he who has been forced or coerced into saying that which angers Allah. Force, not everyday situations, right? Not everyday situations. Abu Bakr al-Razi in his book, Aham al-Quran, says, the aforementioned verse, except by way of precaution, that ye may guard yourselves from them by affirming that al-taqiyyah should be used. Look what he says. When one is afraid for life and or limb, David. Not everyday life. So again, you know what we're going to do as Muslims? Because we're supposed to put the best, we're told that we put the best construction, you know, or outlook on another Muslim. So I'm going to say that Abu Darda must have said that in the context of being in fear. He had to. He had to have, right? If not, he would be going against the clear principle. So we're going to say that Abu Darda must have said that and meant it in the context of fear for his life, right? As we know, the early Muslims were indeed being persecuted, right? The early Muslims were indeed being persecuted. Their lives were in danger. So we can only assume that Abu Darda was saying that in the context of when the Muslims were being persecuted. All right, we're gonna put that. We're gonna put that. All right, because all the evidence is clear that it's only used in that situation when your life is in danger. You can't use it in everyday situations. You don't act two-faced in front of a non-Muslim if there's no danger, if just regular everyday activities. You're at work, you're at school, you're talking to your neighbor. You don't pretend. There's no need to pretend in that situation, right? Your life's not in danger. So as you can see from what the scholars are saying, and as the verse said, it is when you're in danger. That al-Takia should be used when one is afraid for a life and or limb. Okay? This is the situation of Ammar ibn Yasir when he was being tortured. David had mentioned that, and this is when the hadith speaks about that. Okay. Here's another one. This is Al-Ghazali. This is Al-Ghazali. He's saying safeguarding of a Muslim's life is a mandatory obligation that should be observed, and that lying is permissible when the shedding of a Muslim's blood is at stake. Once again, everybody sees it. What's the situation? Immediate danger of your life. Immediate danger. Immediate danger of a Muslim's life. Your own life or another Muslim's life. Is that bad, everybody? See, that's the funny thing about the Christians is that, they don't think it through. Because like I said, we know that during the time of Nazi Germany, people lied to hide Jews from being executed. So you telling me, David, if you lived back in the time of Nazi Germany, you being a Christian as you are now, and you lived in Nazi Germany, and you had Jewish neighbors in your neighborhood, your neighbor was Jewish, and you got the word that the Nazis were coming out to round up Jews, and your neighbor ran to your house and said, please help us, please hide us. Can we hide in your basement? And they hide in your basement, David, and the Nazi soldiers come knocking at your door. Yes, hello, Mr. Wood. We are looking for the Jews to round them up and exterminate them in the oven. Where are your neighbors, sir? We'd like to take them to the camp. What would you do, David? Would you say, oh, well, Takia is a lie and evil. Yeah, they're in the basement. You just killed your neighbors, you idiot. Would you do that? Or would you use common sense and say, damn, man, I know it's a lie, but no, I haven't seen them. What would you do, David? That's what I'm curious. What would you do, David? Would you say, yeah, my neighbors are here. My Jewish neighbors are here. They asked me to protect them. They're hiding in the basement. Go get them. Or would you use your common sense and say, damn, if I say something, my neighbors are going to get killed. There's no doubt they're going to get killed or tortured. They're going to get sent to those concentration camps that we've been hearing about on local German TV. What would you do, David? Would you try to use some BS form of righteousness and tell the truth in this situation? Because in that situation, you wouldn't be righteous, right? In that situation, you wouldn't be righteous. You'd be aiding and abetting in murder. You'd be aiding in the murder of your innocent Jewish neighbors if you tried to use some BS form of righteousness and say, you know what, I got to tell the truth. So yeah, they're hiding in the basement. I wonder, David. I wonder what you would do in a situation like that. All right. But again, as you can see, everybody, it says when the shedding of a Muslim blood is at stake. Notice how the scholars are showing that the situation is only in that situation. Here's another one. Alama Kazin. He says that this verse is directed to anyone who has been forced, once again, forced to denounce Islam, but is content with Islam in his heart, even if the reason behind it is out of the ordinary. So once again, forced, you're being forced. All right. Another one, Usul al-Shashi. It says, it is permissible to swear at Rasulullah when one is under duress and to recite the kalima of kufr, meaning the words of kufr, in the fear, once again, there it goes, in the fear of losing property or getting murdered, provided that the heart is at comfort. So notice how the scholars are all showing that it's only in a case when you are in immediate danger, right? And I know I'm repeating, but I like to drive the point home because I just can't see how these guys can do this unless they're bold-faced liars, right? Once again, Sunni scholar Abu Shakur, right? He says, similarly, Kufr is the worst act. But when one is forced to commit it through a threat of murder, David, not everyday life, not everyday interaction, it is through a threat of murder, then it is permissible to adopt Takia and recite the kalima of kufr. Okay? Man, I can go on and on. I don't want to give you all of it, but as you can see, I think my point is made. Right? I think my point is made. The evidence is overwhelming. Right? The evidence is overwhelming. From the Quran, number one. Number one, Quran is clear, like Brother Riffraff said. Quran is clear. If I didn't show you any of this other stuff, the Quran is still clear on its own. Right? I'm showing you this other stuff because what they like to do is they like to ignore the Quran, though. What they like to do is they like to ignore the Quran, and they like to find some scholar that they think is saying something that supports their position. Right? So this is the only reason why I'm showing them what these other people, what these scholars are saying, just so they can see that, look, even if you try to go outside and ignore what the Quran says, even the Muslim scholars are saying the same thing. So I want everybody to understand what I'm doing, right? Quran is enough. Quran is clear, and Quran makes it clear what it's saying. That it's only, Quran says it, that it's only if you fear for your life. But like I said, what they like to do is they like to play and they like to ignore the Quran. And then they try to cherry pick some scholar who says something different that they can try to use. But as you can see here, I've given you several scholars, David, and any other non-Muslim that's watching who thinks that David might have an argument. I've given you several that all say the same thing. Notice the common denominator is they say when you fear for your life, you fear for murder, your blood is about to be shed, or another Muslim's blood about to be shed. It's immediate danger, immediate threat to your life. Over and over again, they all say the same thing. Okay. All right. So let's go back to his video and let's see what else he has to say.
Why would Muslims need to pretend to be friendly? Because the Quran commands Muslims fight those who do not believe in Allah. Chapter 9.
Oh, wow. Look what a devil. Oh, David. You know what, David? I lost respect for you, bro. Not that I ever had any, but you know, when I see the dude, when I've seen him in the past debates, you know, I try to be friendly with the dude. You know what I'm saying? I try to be friendly with him in person, but this stuff makes it hard. He just read what the verses said, everybody. Where did the verse say to do this because you're in warfare? The verse said to do it when your life is in danger. David, what the hell is wrong with you? But that's the shaitan. See how he's twisting it? He just read it himself, and he's still going to spin it to some nefarious, negative, underhanded way. Where did the verse say, oh, in warfare to do that? It said, no, when your life is in danger, man. Oh, no, do it because the Quran commands you to fight them. Oh, really, David? Really? And you know what? And even on then, when the Quran says to fight why, David? Why does it say fight, David? Why does it say fight, David? How many times we done answered this question? It says fight why? Because the Muslims were being attacked first, David. Quran chapter 9, verse 13. Will you not fight a people who broke their oaths? They aimed at the expulsion of the messenger, and they attacked you first, David. Quran chapter 2, verse 190. Fight back against those who fight you, but do not be the aggressor. Clear, David. So when the Quran says to fight, it says fight for a reason. And the reason is because you are under attack. When you are under attack, you have the right to defend yourself. Right? You have the right to defend yourself. That's why it says to fight, David. Come on, man. Wow. Total loss of respect, man. Total loss of respect. You know what I'm saying? Total loss. And he just read it. That's what's amazing. He just read it, though. Nothing he read says because you're commanded to fight the disbelievers. Did anybody see that? Nothing he read said, oh, you do this because you're commanded to fight the disbelievers. He read it. He read the reasons right there from Ibn Kathir. He read the verse from the Quran that said when you fear, if you're in war, we both fighting each other, right? When we are at war, we both fight. We both want to fight each other. Fear is when you trying to hurt me and I'm fearful of you trying to hurt me. Right? I'm not trying to hurt you, but you're trying to hurt me. So I'm in fear of my life. When we are at war, we both trying to kill each other, correct? So how's he twisting it now to talking about, oh, because you're commanded to make war on them? Sorry, Dave. That's real sorry. Let's continue.
9 verse 29. Fight those of the unbelievers who are near to you and let them find in you hardness. Chapter 9, verse 123.
Okay, again, we already just showed that. Chapter 9 already told you why it's saying to fight them, because of verse 13. They broke their oaths. They aimed at the expulsion of the messenger. And it clearly says in verse 19 of the same chapter he's reading from. He just said 9:29 and chapter 9, verse 29 and 9, verse 23. But notice at the beginning of chapter 9, it tells you the context is already set. It says that they attacked you first. They attacked you first. And as I've showed in my other videos, David, any verses of fighting in the Quran are all under the context of the Muslims being attacked, as chapter 2, verse 190 says. Chapter 2, verse 190 clearly says, fight back against those who attack you, but do not be the aggressor. So that means any verse that you read in the Quran that talks about fighting, none of those verses are telling Muslims to be aggressors first. If it did, David, that would be a contradiction, everyone, correct? If it was verses that are telling the Muslims to attack first with no cause, that would be a contradiction to chapter 2, verse 190. So any verses in the Quran that speak of fighting are under the context of chapter 2, verse 190. Chapter 2, verse 190 sets the tone for all verses throughout the Quran dealing with fighting. And in fact, even when you read those verses outside of chapter 2, the context shows that the Muslims are being attacked. The context shows it is self-defense, right? It shows that it's self-defense. So, sorry, you failed again. Let's continue.
Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those who are with him are severe against disbelievers and merciful among themselves. Chapter 48, verse 29. Muslims are commanded to violently subjugate non-Muslims, but sometimes Muslims aren't in a position to subjugate.
Oh, stop, David. Come on, please stop that. No, Muslims are not commanded to violently subjugate non-Muslims. That's a complete lie. Quran, there are verses in the Quran that says invite people to Islam with wisdom and good preaching. And the further proof to refute him that the Quran does not say to violently subdue is there are verses that say that if the disbelievers, if they reject what you say to them, that your job is only to deliver the message, David. Right? There are over a dozen verses in the Quran that say if they reject it, your job is only to deliver the message. You have not been made a guardian over them. So that means that if they reject, you have not been placed in authority over them. So no, we're not commanded to violently subjugate you, David. Wow. But you know what? This is amazing though. And like I said, he just made this video in 2017. Yet I refuted this argument years ago. I have several videos where I've refuted David on this point years ago. Go look on my channel. I have a video about what's the verse, the one that they say is the one they claim is abrogated. No compulsion in religion, chapter 2, verse 255. Is that verse abrogated, or does it show that Islam is peaceful? Go back on my channel and look. I refute David in that video where I discuss many of these issues. These issues are here. And that verse was made of, I think I made that verse, I don't know when I made it. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2011. It was somewhere back in those days. So this information has been out there. I've debated David on this issue in person. I've debated him in person. Is Islam a threat to the West? Where I give these verses and refuted him in person. And he's still repeating the lie, the misinformation. See, if you were an honest person, you would acknowledge that these verses you refuted on it. But no, instead, he still wants to keep repeating the lies and the misinformation. Exactly. If he just read the context, Let's continue.
The unbelievers. What are they supposed to do then? Are they supposed to share their plans and say, we're not going to attack you now, but as soon as we get the chance, we're going to conquer your civilization, put your men to death, rape your wives, and enslave your children? Of course not. Countries wouldn't invite them in if they said. Okay,
so now he's going into the immigrant thing, right? That the immigrants are sneaking in and they're pretending. Now, remember at the beginning of the show, somebody said David was like a white supremacist, right? And yes, I agree. He may not be a Klan member. He may not be a neo-Nazi. He's just a regular white guy. But this type of talk here is like, it's just the regular racist. This is regular racist talk, meaning regular racist in the sense that he's not a member of the Klan. He may not be a Klan member. He may not be a member of the neo-Nazi. He may not be with the alt-right. But this is regular, everyday racism from the regular, everyday, common white person. And don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that everyday white people are like this. But this is like, not, in other words, he's a racist. He's just a regular racist. There are people who are racist and they're not Klan members. There are people who are racist and they're not with the neo-Nazis. They're not with the alt-right. They're just regular people. They're not part of any organization, but they hold racist ideas. They hold white supremacist ideas, and this is an example of that. So as you can see, it looks like he's getting ready to go into the immigrant thing. That the immigrants are lying to us, everybody. They really, like he just said, they want to kill us and rape our women and overtake our culture, but they can't tell us that because if they did, they wouldn't be invited, sir. You just read from the Quran where the Quran doesn't say anything about what you're saying, David. The Quran shows that this takia is used when you're in danger. Immigrants coming here, they're not in danger. They're in danger from their own countries though, right? So immigrants coming here, they're in danger from their own country. They're not in danger coming because if they were, they wouldn't come here, right? If they felt they were in danger, they wouldn't come here to try to sneak into your country and overtake you. These are regular people who are seeking a better life because you bombed their countries or you exacerbated some civil war in their country. And they're seeking peace. They're seeking peace from the bombs and the wars that you created in their country, David. But he's making it like, oh, these people are lying. They're sneaking. They're smiling in your face, but they came here to kill us, or rather kill them and to take over. That is white supremacist talk right there, everybody. That's anti-immigrant white supremacist rhetoric. Let's be clear. I'm going to say it again. That kind of talk, even though he's not a Klan man or a neo-Nazi, that is white supremacist anti-immigrant rhetoric that he's using. Those are white supremacist talking points that he's using right there, even though he's not a Klan member. But he's a regular, everyday, regular racist type of guy talking that nonsense like that. But as you can see, he's refuting, he already refuted himself because everything he showed from the Quran and from the tafsir does not say what he's saying. It showed, and everything that I showed also, all the scholars said you only use it when your life is in danger, in fear. They didn't say sneak in and pretend in front of the non-believers so you can take over his country and rape his women and dominate his society. No, it says when you're in a state of fear, when you're in a situation when your life is in danger, you're the one being oppressed. You're the one in danger. You're the one being hunted down. So dishonest, man, completely dishonest. Let's continue.
That. So Allah commands them to pretend to be friendly, giving rise to the Islamic proverb, if you can't cut your enemy's hand, kiss it.
I never heard that proverb before. I've been, and I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I consider myself pretty well read in Islam. Now, I'm not claiming I'm an expert or anything like that, but I have read a lot in Islam, and I've never ever heard that. I've never heard that saying. In all my years of being a Muslim, I've never heard that saying, kiss the, you want to cut it, but you kiss it. I've never heard that. Not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that I've been Muslim for quite a long time and I read a lot. I'm not just like a regular, Muslim who just lays around and goes along. No, I actually read and study, and I've never seen that. Yeah, me either. I've never heard that saying in my life as a Muslim. And like I said, again, I'm repeating, I'm not claiming to be an expert on Islam, but I do read a lot. I read and I study Islam. I'm an active reader and studier of the religion that I practice. And I've never heard that saying of all my years of being a Muslim until just now. But again, I want everybody to see, did you hear what he just said? He just said that Allah commands the Muslims to do what he's claiming, to be sneaky and underhanded. But he just read from the Quran where Allah didn't say that. Do you see how he's a liar? He just read from the Quran. So you know what? That's why he doesn't get a pass. I'm blaming you, David, as a bold-faced liar. You don't get a pass. I can't say that you made a mistake or you're misinformed. You know why? Because you just read it. At the beginning of your video, David, you read the 2 verses that talk about Takia. And each one of them said when your life is in danger, David. Each one of them said when your life is in danger, when you fear and you take a precaution. How is it that you come to the end and say, oh, they're doing this because Allah said you got to do this to sneak in so you can, underhandedly sneak in there and take over their society and kill their women, rape their women and kill and take over. Where the hell did he get that from? He just read at the beginning of the So how's he saying Allah, that's what Allah says to do? When Allah just said, no, you only do this when your life is in danger. So you know what? So that tells us he's a liar, everybody. This is not a mistake. He's not ignorant. He didn't make an error. This is a bold-faced attempt to lie and distort the teachings of Islam. So you don't get a pass for that, David. You get called a lying ass for that. You got that? You don't get a pass for that one. You get called a lying ass for that. Because that's a bold-faced lie right there. You heard him, right? He just said Allah said that. He just said Allah said, but he read what Allah said, and nothing that he read from Allah said to do what he just claimed Allah said. Shameful. Let's continue.
Now, please don't misunderstand me when I explain what Islam teaches. When I tell you about Islam, I'm not telling you what your Muslim friends believe. So don't think that because Islam commands Muslims to violently subjugate unbelievers, but to pretend to be friendly when outnumbered, your Muslim friends must be lying to you.
Another lie too. Where does the Quran say to be friendly when you're outnumbered? In fact, there's a verse in the Quran that tells the Muslims that when you're outnumbered in an actual fight, that Allah can give you victory even though you're outnumbered. So what the hell is this liar talking about? What the hell is he talking about? There's a verse in the Quran that shows that when Muslims are outnumbered in an actual fight, that Allah says don't fear, because he can make, what is that verse? He can make 100 take over 1,000 men. He can make 1,000 men defeat 100,000 or something like that. You're familiar with that verse, right? Everybody's familiar with that verse, right? So what are you talking about? Oh, when you're outnumbered, Allah. No, David, no. This is sad, real sad. Let's continue.
Say that Islam is a religion of peace. The average.
Oh, and you know, let's deal with that too, because he's talking about the thing that, oh, you know, don't worry that he's telling you what Islam says, but that doesn't mean your Muslim friend believe it. Well, I want everybody who's watching this, if you're a non-Muslim, to understand that I just proved to you, and so did David actually. He doesn't know it. He also proved to you what Islam says truthfully, even though he threw in his lie. The stuff that he showed at the beginning is what Islam actually says and what Muslims believe. That it is Takia is used when your life is in danger or the life of another Muslim is in danger. That is the only situation in which it is used. That's what Islam says, and that's what your Muslim friend believes. Okay, don't listen to David. David is promoting bigotry and hatred towards Muslims and distrust of Muslims. The truth is, I showed you what Islam says. He also showed it. He's just ignoring what the verses says and what the tafsir says, even though he read it right there in clear words. And I'm showing you what Islam actually says. And that's what I believe as a Muslim, that it is only used when your life is in danger. It is not used to deceive people in everyday situations. It is not used to be fake and put up a front in front of non-Muslims. It is used when your life is in danger. And that's what I believe, and that's what your Muslim friend believes also. David is trying to cause you to mistrust your Muslim friend or hate your Muslim friend if you have any. Okay? But we're exposing the truth right here. Let's go on.
To nothing about Islam and has been raised with the same values the rest of us were raised with. So when your Muslim friends tell you that Islam is peaceful, they probably believe it. Unfortunately, Islam isn't defined by peaceful, westernized Muslims. Islam is defined by Allah and Muhammad. And Allah and Muhammad say, fight the unbelievers unless you can't fight them. And if you can't...
That's, again, a lie. Allah says, fight back against those who fight you, but do not be the aggressor. That's chapter 2, verse 190. Okay, any non-Muslims listening and any Muslims too who need the verses. Chapter 2, verse 190 says, and let me state this here. That verse has never, matter of fact, none of the verses are abrogated. Okay, that verse is not abrogated. None of the verses of peace. This is another claim that they'll say, because when you refute them with the proof, their next argument is, oh, those verses are abrogated. Wrong. None of the verses of peace have been abrogated. I repeat, none of the verses of peace have been abrogated. There is no evidence that Prophet Muhammad, let me say something first. First of all, there's no proof that Allah himself ever said, oh, I, Allah, say all peaceful verses are abrogated. That's number one. So number one, there is nowhere where Allah says all peaceful verses have been abrogated. Number one. Number two, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he never said all the peaceful verses are abrogated. There is no narration attributed to the Prophet where it is said that the Prophet Muhammad taught the companions that all peaceful verses were abrogated. There's no evidence that exists of such. That's all that matters. Anybody else doesn't matter. No companion has the right to say a verse is abrogated. And in fact, there is no verses where a companion says, listen to my words carefully, there is no evidence where any companion says the Prophet Muhammad told me such and such verses were abrogated. That doesn't exist. There may be such and such claims that are attributed, listen to my words, that are attributed to a companion claiming that a verse was abrogated. But notice when you read such narrations, it does not say that the Prophet told me such and such verse was abrogated. So I repeat, there is no evidence that goes to the Prophet saying the Prophet Muhammad said to such and such companion that this verse was abrogated, or that all peaceful verses were abrogated. No such evidence exists. And again, in my video, Takia, the lie they made against Islam, I mentioned a few scholars who say what I'm saying. So I'm not saying this myself. I have in that video, I have scholars who quote and say that there is no evidence that the Prophet Muhammad ever said any such verses were abrogated. So I'm not saying this as Mr. Shadid Lewis, Western Muslim. No, I'm repeating what I'm saying because I have people of knowledge who I read from, and they say there is no evidence that the Prophet Muhammad himself ever said such and such verses were abrogated. Okay? So I want that to be clear. I want everybody to be clear on that and to understand that. So what David is doing here is twisting and distorting the teachings of Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. It is a religion that teaches you to defend yourself, which is peaceful, right? Defending yourself brings peace. Self-defense is peace. You don't let nobody kick your ass anywhere. You don't sit around and let somebody smack you and you turn the other cheek. You don't let somebody rob you and you give them more to take more from you. You don't let somebody bust in your house and harm you and your family. You don't walk down the street and let somebody beat your wife or you. You don't let somebody just try to take your property, take your car. You don't let somebody just try to take your country. We can take it on a bigger scale. You don't let somebody invade your country and just take it and you say, okay, we're peaceful, have it. No, you defend yourself. Self-defense leads to peace. And that's why these people are hypocrites, because they talk that talk, but they got a military. They talk that talk, but they have the police. Why do you got the police then, huh? Why do you got the police for? And why does the police officer have a gun? Why does the police officer have a stick? And why do they call him a peace officer? Why? Because he may have to use force to bring back the peace, right? If there's somebody running around with a gun shooting people, the police officer may have to use his gun to defend the other people and what? Bring back the peace. You shoot the violent one and then what? Peace is restored. If somebody's running around attacking people physically, what the police officer do? He may have to grab you. You fight him, he may have to hit you with his stick, take you down, subdue you, arrest you. What happens after that? Peace is restored. So yes, Islam is a religion of peace. And it also talks about self-defense, because self-defense is a part of peace. Because if you do not defend yourself, you will allow the evildoers to what? Cause havoc upon the earth. And that's what Allah says, right? Allah says in the Quran that had it not been for Allah using other men to check other men, the mischief makers would have the run of the earth. See? And then what? There would be no peace. So self-defense is a part of peace. And that's what Islam is. Islam is a religion of peace. And it talks about self-defense. And self-defense is a part of peace. Self-defense helps you restore the peace, right? When you self-defend yourself, you restore the peace. Because if you don't defend yourself, you will not have peace. If you don't defend yourself, you won't have peace. Because the evildoers will run a rampage upon the earth. And there won't be peace. So self-defense is a part of peace. And that's what makes Islam a religion of peace. Okay, let's continue.
Fight them, deceive them, so that they're completely off guard.
Oh, he's lying. He's making it up.
We saw this in the Quran, and we saw...
No, you really, David? You saw it in the Quran? Really? What verse did you read at the beginning of your video where it showed you, where it said what you just said, David? The answer, no damn where. No damn where did he show it us in the Quran. What he showed from the Quran was when you're in danger, when you fear, right? So what is he talking about? We saw that in the Quran. He didn't show that from the Quran nowhere. The guy's a bold-faced liar. He's intentionally misrepresenting Islam. And in fact, and that's what makes it so crazy, is that he just read it. We saw it. He just read it at the beginning of the video. You all saw it. Those who were here at the beginning of the video, you witnessed that David would actually read the correct verse, which clearly said, when you fear. When you fear an immediate danger, or they trying to murder you. He just read it. He read Ibn Kathir saying, when your life is in danger, you do this. And yet now he's turning around and twisting it and distorting it and saying, oh, yeah, Islam says, yeah, to deceive them and deception them so you can take over. What, David? What in the world? Crazy. This is amazing. Let's continue.
Thought in Islam's most respected commentary on the Quran, which included quotations from Bukhari, Islam's most respected collector of ahadith, and 2 of Muhammad's companions. So anyone who tells you that Islam doesn't promote this kind of deception either has no clue what he's talking about, or he's practicing Takia.
Well, all right, so he's done. The video's finished. So now he tried to twist it. You see what he did at the end, and say that, when the Muslim says that it's peaceful or whatever, and that it doesn't include that they're either don't know any better or they're practicing Takia. But no, David, what you're doing is you're not even practicing Takia. You're just telling bold-faced lies, David. You are a bold-faced ass liar. Okay, David, you're a bold-faced liar. I showed what Islam actually says, and so when I'm saying that, I'm not practicing Takia. I'm telling you the straight up truth. And again, you read it, David. You read it yourself. You refuted yourself just now in your own video, David. You don't even realize it, do you? You refuted yourself in your own video, David. Because you read at the beginning of the video the true definition. The verse clearly says, right? The verse clearly says, what'd you say, a moderator? You know what? Yeah, I got to find out how to do that, how to make people moderate. I really don't know how to do that, but I'll find out. I need to find out how to make people moderators. But what was I saying? That he refuted himself, right? He refuted himself in the video at the beginning where he read it honestly. And the verse clearly said, when you take a precaution, when you fear for your life, right? When you fear for your life, you do it as a precaution. So how do we get to the end where he says, oh, you do it to deceive them and lying and deception? So you've been refuted, David. Matter of fact, that'd be great. That would be great to have a face-to-face debate with him on this subject. You know what, right? Wouldn't that be great? That would be great to have a face-to-face, because I would like to see how he would answer, how he would deal with the evidence, man. I would like to say he would deal with this evidence. Right, Islam is peaceful. We're not pacifists. We're not pacifists, right? All right, let's see. So you want to post the donation link? Like I said, let me see. Can I do that while I'm here? All right. I'm going to post it here, guys. Let me see if I can do it here. I'm going to post to you the donation link. Okay, let's see. I'm going to post it in the thing while I'm talking. All right. So like I said, so here's what you do. If you want to do it on PayPal, right? Can I post as a speaker? I don't know if I can post as a speaker. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? I can't do it as a speaker. Or maybe I could switch over. Right? All right, guys. So you know what I'm gonna do? Well, then that might mess up the video then, right? If I switch over. Because there's no way I can post it. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? All right. Well, how about if I show it to you guys? If I show it to you, can that help you? If I like post it on the screen, like if I show it on the screen, will that help you be able to do it like that? You just gotta copy and paste it. So here, let's try this then. Let's try this. All right, where is it? Can you guys see that? You can see that, right? There's the donation right there. See that? That's the link for the donation. So it's a lot, but if you type that in, or just go to PayPal and put, bro, you know, say you want to send the payment to Bro Shadid. You guys can't see that? Can you see it now on the screen? You see what I'm showing right there, right now? Hard to see. All right. Well, then, like I said, just wait then to the end of the video, right? At the end of the video, don't go nowhere. Those of you who want to donate, at the end of the video, as soon as the video is done, it'll. Oh, you can see it now. Okay. All right. So where is it? Let's clear it up. So that's what you want to do. You donate right there. I'm trying to get it as close as I can. So if you want to donate right there, that's what you do. Right? Just go to PayPal. Say you want to send the payment to Bro Shadid. Bro underscore. That's an underscore. Bro underscore Shadid at hotmail.com. Okay. All right. So then, yeah, you can just wait till the end and the video will have everything there. All right. So before we end it, we went for an hour, 15 minutes. Does anybody have any questions about anything before we end it? Before we end tonight's show? Any questions from anybody? Was everything clear, or do you have any questions? If there's no questions, then we'll go ahead and end it. And like I said, just stay tuned. Oh, you know what, bro? Man, subhanAllah. I haven't. I ain't gonna even lie to you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not had a chance to speak to that brother yet. I have not had a chance to speak to him. I definitely got to stop procrastinating and get around to doing it. I do. I really do. Operate on the sympathetic FUP. They must do, Sam. He must. That must be what it is. That must be what it is. Because I don't get it. That must be what it is. You know what I mean? Robert Spencer's Greek. I heard that he comes from a Greek background. Yeah, I heard. You know what? We could try that too. We can make some shows like that where we take some ex-Muslim videos and we deal with their arguments. We can do that too. So, all right, mashallah, you guys, you said that the refutation was nice. Well, I appreciate it. And again, that was off the top of my head, everybody. That was off the top of the dome right there. Freestyle. I didn't prepare. I didn't watch the video ahead of time. Yeah, that was it. What the hell is Kitman? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Riff Raff, that's another claim that I want to deal with as well. I wrote an article years ago about, how they say it again? Tawriya. Yeah, they claim that that's another kind of Takia. Maybe we can deal with that on the next show, right? Maybe on the next show. Matter of fact, we will. Next show, we'll do a segment where we deal with Tawriya, which they claim is like some other form of Takia. And Kitman, same thing. Kitman, well, usually they say Kitman is another word for Takia. I don't know, but they claim that Kitman is another word for Takia. But Tawriya is another form of deception that they claim Islam practices. But I wrote an article years ago. There was this guy, I forgot what his name was, Raymond something or another. He was some kind of Arabic guy, Raymond something or another, and he wrote an article claiming that the Muslims also practice Tawriya. But the evidence against Tawriya is that the scholars say that it has no place in Islam. Tawriya, I'm not even sure I pronounce it, but Tawriya is a claim where they claim that it's like a form of deception or something where you're being like ambiguous, basically. It's something like that. It's like where you're being ambiguous about stuff, where you're not giving the details. You know what I mean? Or you commit omission. You know what I mean? Like you don't tell the whole thing or something like that. But the scholars have said that that's not part of Islam. So because the guy, I'm gonna see if I can find that article. I wrote that article years ago, but I'm gonna see if I can find it. And if I find it, even whether I find it or not, we'll still do a segment on that. I'll find the article that I wrote. It should be on the MDI website. Raymond, there you go, right? Raymond Ibrahim, that's the dude. I did an article against him, refuting him on his claims. And then he did the same thing David did, basically. He used an article in Muslim Scholars, and right in the stuff that he uses, the scholars say that Tawriya is not a part of Islam. They actually say that it is not really a component and it has no use. They say it has no use. So But I'm gonna find the article that I wrote against Raymond Ibrahim when he made that claim years ago, and we'll show that Tariya is not a part of Islam. Matter of fact, I seen there's some videos about it too. There's this woman, she made it when I was looking up for David Wood's video. There's this woman who made a video about Tariya, and she's talking. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'll check it out. And next show we'll do a refutation of that, and we'll go through all of that. So, and maybe we'll even do it over the weekend. Maybe I'll do another show like on Sunday or something, so we don't have to wait till next week. So maybe on Sunday, inshallah, I'll do a show about that one where we go down and break down and refute the claims about Tariya. Okay, so inshallah we'll do that.